I just thought to myself, this is like the best day of my life, something I'll never forget.
It was a big jump to the NBA, to the best league, and I didn't know if I could make it or not.
It was unbelievable, the passion in the moment, and couldn't help but get caught up in it.
Just that underdog. I'm just under the surface, just doing my thing.
There's a pretty good jump shooter. Dirk Nowitzki, perhaps you've heard of him.
Dirk. He can give you a variety of different things that he can do. When you can put it on the floor and catch and shoot, and also pass the ball. I mean, that makes him so dangerous on the floor because guys got to respect that.
Nowitzki, a shooter never stops shooting.
There's one guy who has so much range.
To be a 7-footer, you know, he plays like he's a guard.
Nowitzki on the show and go dribble drive.
Every time he shoots, like he's making it.
Right side Nowitzki, his jumper, good for three. Dirk Nowitzki has just sealed the deal for the Mavericks. Oh boy, what a shot! Dirk Nowitzki's journey to the NBA began on the courts of his hometown in Würzburg, Germany, but not the kind of courts you might expect.
All the women in my life played basketball, and I kind of thought it was a sport for women. You know, it was like my mom played it, my sister played it, so I was like, I can't play a women's sport.
Marek Wolf, guten Tag.
Dirk's father had starred in a different sport and was grooming his only son to follow in his footsteps.
I was his coach in handball, and he was a very good handball player, I say. And in the same time, he grew up as a very good tennis player, and we thought, parents thought, that he will become a next Boris Becker.
And he could kind of see a future for me in both of them, so when I said, screw it, I want to do something else, he was kind of like, I guess he was kind of a little frustrated that I would throw everything out of the window, what I've done so far.
Dirk's path became clear when his cousin introduced him to basketball, and he fell in love with the sport.
We had a hoop at home, and it was set actually right there. We had a hoop in the middle, and then we also had a handball goal right behind it. Already by 16, 17 people told us that he had like this bright future, and no one really talked about NBA back then, but still like he was going to be a great player in the European League somewhere, and that was going to be, you know, a great career.
But a chance encounter would open a new world of possibilities. He met Holger Geschwindner, who was the captain of Germany's Olympic team in 1972. He became not only Dirk's basketball coach, but his mentor in life.
It was kind of weird. I met him at a youth game, and I guess I was just playing. I was like 15, 16, and he came up to me and talked to me afterwards, and I had no idea who he was.
Well, there was a tall, skinny dude running around, and I could not believe that the guy was doing so many things. A good basketball player has to know, you know, and has to react, how he reacts. But he has no tools. He could not dribble the ball. He could not shoot it, you know. But he did so many things right. And when he came by, you know, I said, hey, who is teaching you all the tools, you know, to do? Nobody. So, okay, if you want, I do it.
He came to my family. We had a meeting, and he was like, he said, yeah, you know, our goal is to be the best player even in the NBA. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to play in this league. You know, I never really believed in my skills well enough. I was just playing for fun.
I said, okay, you guys have to make a decision. If Dirk wants to be the best basketball player in Germany, then we can stop practicing right away. Nobody can hinder that. But if he wants to deal with the best guys in the world, we have to practice every day. And next day, Dirk called, so let's try it.
But first they would need a place to practice, so Holger arranged for an abandoned building that once housed a brewery to be converted into a gym.
He was a great player once, and he just knew how to teach.
How to handle the ball, how to put the fingers, you know, he was so skinny and he had no power at all.
But it was always fun, so I stuck with it, and you know, you could really see progress early. You know, I was starting to shoot better and move better, and you know, the progress just kept coming.
And the relationship started to become closer and closer. When he came out with, it came up with that he was not very good at school, so we start doing some homeworks, you know, and all that stuff. So I guess we try to fix everything together. My basic idea was that we can make it within 5 years to the NBA. We had that game in San Antonio, you know, that was like a little bump, you know, so everybody now was chasing him.
That little bump was actually the biggest turning point in Dirk's road to the NBA. At the 1998 Nike Hoops Summit in San Antonio, he put on a brilliant performance against American high school stars and dazzled a crowd that included Dallas Mavericks head coach Don Nelson.
Shows a lot of body control and a lot of good moves for a guy who's 6'11".
Going to see you back here in the NBA, maybe another Detlef Schrempf someday?
Oh, I hope so, you know, I don't know yet.
A few months later, Dirk's hopes became a reality.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
He wasn't a Buck for long, as Nelson and the Mavericks swung a draft night trade for the phenom they coveted. But while Dallas expected big things from Dirk, he didn't exactly share their confidence.
I didn't think I was ready. I was like, it was a big jump from Europe right away to the NBA, to the best league, and I didn't know if I could make it or not.
And those doubts would quickly be realized. During his rookie season, Nowitzki had problems adjusting to a new country and a new level of basketball.
Actually coming over and playing against the best athletes in the world, it was a lot harder than I expected. I mean, going through it was one of the toughest times of my life.
At forward, 6'11" from Germany, number 41, Dirk Nowitzki.
In 1998, Dirk Nowitzki arrived in Dallas, having achieved his dream of reaching the NBA. But it became a rude awakening as the rookie endured his share of growing pains.
Nowitzki backing down with 5, stripped by Chapman. Nowitzki, not good-looking shot there at all.
See, Nowitzki just was not aggressive enough. When that ball was there, he just didn't go get it.
It was really hard for me, you know, coming over. I was the man in Germany. I played 40 minutes a game, you know, taking every shot whenever I wanted to. And now all of a sudden come in a situation where I felt like, you know, every player on my own team was better than myself.
People made these, you know, proclamations that he'd be Rookie of the Year and things like that, and I think that really set him up to fail. You know, especially with all the different things he had to deal with coming from so far away.
For me, it was a culture shock. I was new. I didn't know anyone, and my family was like a 12-hour flight away. You know, all the traveling, all the games. We only used to play 1 or 2 games a week, and here, you know, we had like 5 or 6 games a week. I mean, it was crazy.
It's such a huge step. I still can't believe it. You know, it's a totally different style of basketball over here. The pace is much higher under the basket. It's almost like wrestling. It's really everybody grabs you and pushes you, so it's a big thing, and I'm still not used to it.
I got burned like once or twice or maybe 3 times a game when I was young. That's something I had to learn and learn how to compete against.
Driving on Nowitzki. Good move, Don.
If you come out of Europe, you're a 7-footer, you're a white guy, and you shoot, you're obviously going to be a soft guy. I mean, you hear right away I'll be coming in the game, and you know, my guy would catch the ball, and you hear from the bench, go at him, you know, go at him. He's soft.
He beat Nowitzki again right there.
Obviously, when things are not going right, you start to doubt yourself a little bit. I mean, was it the right decision? Should have stayed in Europe for a couple more years and develop and come back more ready? You know, you start thinking about it, but then you don't want to give in. You want to keep on working, and you want to make this work somehow and not give up.